Dear high school, these last 4 years have been, well, interesting. They've been very unpredictable, unique, easy, but also hard, and definitely a learning experience that had its very own set of rules and its own learning curve. I look back to pictures and even this video of freshman year, and don't quite recognize the girl who I was. Long brown hair, a baby face, eyes filled with so much hope, naive, a little lost, a girl that wanted nothing more than to make friends and fit in and be what everyone else wanted. I still have my hope, my youth, the desire to fit in at times, and, well, I'm being honest, I'm probably still at least a little naive to a few lessons of life that I've yet to learn. But I've grown so much to be the person that stands here today. And even though I've had so much growth, I'm still finding myself and still a little lost. But hey, isn't everyone? But high school. You gave me so many opportunities. I made new friends, but I also lost some. I studied a lot and proved to myself working hard is worth it. It's important to note that high school in general is just a weird time for people. It's when you start being handed more responsibility, and yet at the end of the day, you're still a child. You start going off with your friends, trying to figure out who you are, the person that you want to be, the things that you want to do with your life. And most importantly, the impact you want to make. Freshman year is about adjusting, learning to adapt and thrive in new environments, create new bonds and experiences. Sophomore year is where we really start to get into the groove of things. You're not the newbies anymore. You're a little more settled and a little more at home. I like to think that I was getting into that groove of things. And then, of course, something unpredicted happened. We locked ourselves inside, became afraid of a disease, and had our world flipped upside down. What started as 3 weeks turned into 3 months, and then almost a year of completely virtual school. And boy, oh boy, was that interesting. And having a pandemic at any point in your life is insane, scary, unique, and humbling. It reminds you of all the things you should be grateful for. It makes you thankful for the experiences you've had. In some cases, it built community. It was a collective experience, one that is unique to not very many times, and one that affected each person differently. However, having a pandemic smack dab in the middle of your high school career seems like it's not a big deal. It's not like my main job is going to work and paying bills, and it wasn't like I was missing out on the foundation of my learning like elementary school kids were. However, a lot of responsibility fell on me, and a lot of others in my position. Parents, in some cases, were expected to teach their children by themselves when everything went virtual. My parents, for example, hadn't been to elementary school in quite a long time, and so when they did not know how to do something, I was called upon. I became a teacher and a student all at once. Some parents had to go to work, and their eldest children became the built-in daycare. Other parents got laid off, and people suffered financially. However, high schoolers, in some cases, missed building friendships and experiences, the ones their parents had always talked about, the ones that our parents told us about when we were younger, those that we were informed we would look back on one day and tell our very own children. Nonetheless, we learned to adapt and overcome and power through, and we came out on the other side. By the time we did, though, college was what was on all of our minds. Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? Questions everyone was asking. Questions even I was asking. The truth is, I had planned where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and then reality hit. When the time came to answer the questions, so much had changed since the beginning of high school that I wasn't sure it's still what I wanted to do. Junior year. It's almost like I lost my memory. I consider it as the core of what I like to call the lost years. It should have been full of testing, learning about schools, and informational sessions. Instead, it was filled with screens and distance and more screens. Then there was the infamous senior year. It had arrived, and so did the stress of turning in applications for schools and writing all the essays that went along with it, and then finding scholarships while simultaneously being a good student and being able to live for what felt like the first time in 2 years. And it wasn't because COVID had gone away, but because we were back at school. Football games were open for students to come. A little normalcy had returned. Senior sunrise at the beginning of the school year came and gone, and I still didn't feel like I was leaving anytime soon. The last football game happened, and I still felt like I'd be coming back next year to do it all over again. Homecoming came and went. I felt like all was the same. First semester finished, and I still felt unfazed. I didn't feel like I was leaving anytime soon. I still felt like I was 15, COVID wasn't a thing, and I had time to figure it out. And then slowly, it started to hit me. I don't know if it was a crawl, or one day it just sucker punched me in the face, but there it was. I had just realized this right here, right now, is the last time it'll be like this. I was leaving. It'll be the last time all my friends live in the same place. The last time I wake up and go to school and do the same class as days go by and day in and day out and everything was the same. And well, I'm very excited for the change that is coming. It was the last time that I would live under my parents' roof as a high school student. And yet, I still hadn't chosen a school. Yep, you heard me right. Waited till like the last minute. I still didn't have the plans laid out for my future. And me, the girl who plans 5 years in advance, started to stress. I eventually chose a school, thank God. I think I surprised us all with that one. I have plans for my future, at least a rough sketch of them. I've crossed the stage, moved my tassel from right to left, and became a high school graduate. I'm officially an alumni. I'm also on the brink of a new adventure. I'm not sure what it holds, but it does have me reminiscing of a life that I'm leaving behind. Of my high school years, there were nights where I was in tears because high school can be brutal sometimes. And there were nights where I wore the biggest smile as my school's football team scored the last touchdown, letting us win yet another game. Nights where I screamed at the top of my lungs my school's anthem, and nights where I screamed because calculus can be difficult. Lots of nights I won't forget. Lots of memories I will take with me. Lots of growth that happened. Like being more sure in myself, and not in that cocky way, but rather to wake up and realize my voice matters. I'm capable of things that are difficult, and that it is okay to be lost. I've learned it's okay to not be everyone's cup of tea, as long as you try to be nice to everyone. It would be so tiring to become what someone else likes, rather than just being yourself. I have to believe that the right people will surround you if you are just, well, you. Just act like yourself and everything should work out, I hope. So now, as I'm getting ready to start my next chapter, I realize I'm not done finding myself. For that, truly, I've only just begun. After all, we are humans. We evolve and change. And so, maybe I will never be able to learn who I am. Not fully. In any given minute, because who I think I am may just be a memory of who I just was. That doesn't mean I'm ever going to stop trying to figure it out. Perhaps it will be one of life's greatest mysteries. Who really are you? Thank you, high school, for the last 4 years, filled with memories, laughter, tears, love. I'll see you at the reunion. And maybe, just maybe, I'll know who I am by then. But even if I don't, it's okay. So thank you. Thank you for the last 4 years that have been amazing, imperfect, magnificent, and quite the journey. It's definitely been an adventure. Thank you for teaching me the easy lessons, but most definitely the difficult ones. And thank you for bringing me close to the people I call my friends. Thank you, high school. Love, Samantha.